Woo! Good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Good morning.
Everybody.
Good morning. My name is Mickey Preventure, and I am one of the co-founders of Conscious Life Collective. And I am super excited to have Michael Ocher with us today with a very emotionally charged conversation today. That's going to be super exciting.
Yes. Welcome, Michael.
Yes. Thank
Yes.
you.
And
Thank
my
you,
name
Mickey.
is
Thank you, Julia.
Yes, I'm going to introduce myself real quick for those of you who don't know me. My name is Julia Bernatsky. I am the founder of Untamed Hearts and co-founder of Conscious Life Collective. And today we are going into a conversation that a lot of us want to have. And it's all about our desires, how our desires and sexual energy are connected and are connected to our ability to create, to manifest. Also, how do we follow our intuition? Because Scorpio is a new moon in the skies right now. It's happening. And it is enhancing and giving us an opportunity to connect to our intuition. So, Mike, I would love us to talk about that also, if possible.
Yes.
And also, like, how do we make good decisions? Like, okay, so we have an intuition. How do we know which is intuition or which is just something we're projecting, and how do we make these two decisions? How do we live our life being brave enough to make the decisions that are aligned with what we're supposed to do? The discernment. So a lot of things to go over today.
Yes.
Let's get to it.
Great questions. Thank you, Mickey. Thank you, Julia. Hi, everyone. Happy new moon. Today, the moon has entered a new sign, and we are in the Kabbalistic calendar. We started the month of Scorpio, and very special month. One of my favorite months. I love this month. I love people that are born under this sign. It's a very strong month. Very positive. Very strong. So let's talk. Like Julia mentioned, there's a lot of things we can talk about, and we will. And just to give you a little bit of a background for this month. So this month is Kabbalistically has a very interesting name. It's called Mar Cheshvan, which Mar is a kind of a prefix that's added to this month, and it means bitter. So it's very interesting. Why would you call a month bitter? And Cheshvan is the actual name of the month. And this month, Kabbalistically, doesn't have any quote-unquote holidays or positive, extra positive days. And, what can we get from this month? Why is this month so special? Why does it have a special name to it? How can we grow? How can we be better? How can we understand what is the universe and the creator and we want to achieve in this month? How can we grow? How can we be better? What kind of a person will we be this month? Who will we be? And what kind of amazing, positive experiences we can have in this month? So the month is month of Scorpio. And Scorpio is a sign of water. It's in the water family. Its internal energy is the energy of fire. So from the beginning, we see that there is a lot of energy. Both water and fire are very powerful elements. They're very strong, moving elements. They're very dynamic. Water nourishes, fire motivates, fire creates desire. But if you look at the two elements and imagine a sphere that's around is water and inside is fire, there can be a little bit of a conflict, right? It's very hard to contain both of these energies and to hold them. And not only that, when they come together, the water and fire, they create steam, right? They don't usually get along. And this is one of the hints of what kind of energy we can expect from this month. That the energy, a little bit of a conflict, kind of things going against each other. feeling a bit unease, a bit stressed, a bit out of place, having a very strong urge and desire, sometimes holding things in and not releasing emotions and what we feel in a proactive way, but a little bit of a like a pot that's boiling and that's exploding. So this month is the ultimate spiritual month. All months are obviously spiritual and can give us a lot of support, but this month is a very interesting month. So there's no Kabbalistic holidays, meaning there is no kind of boost of energy that we are given. The biggest boost of energy is actually tonight, starting tonight for 24 hours. It's the first day of the month, and it actually gives us all the energy of the work that we have done in the whole previous month. It kind of manifests and pours into this day. So that's why my teacher Rav Berg used to say that this is the most powerful day of the year. Basically, all the energy just manifested in this month. And because there is no given quote-unquote special days in this upcoming 30 days, the work is really on us. The work is really on us when we are kind of, whatever we created and whatever we have made and the way we altered our consciousness in the last 30 days, we are going to be very much face-to-face with it in the next upcoming month. So we're going to come face-to-face. We're going to understand what is it that we created. We started the whole year from the beginning. And this is really like the first month that we're going to experience the year ahead of us. And we know that we're not starting it from the beginning. We're starting something completely new. Today is a new day. This month is a new month. The whole energy is going to be completely unique, completely new, completely separate. We are new beings right now. You're not the same person you were yesterday or a year ago. You're a completely different entity, completely different. And is a big picture for this month. The ultimate tool that we want to use is the tool of restriction, is the tool of detachment, tool and the ability where you detach yourself from whatever emotions, whatever feelings, whatever urges you might feel in the next 30 days. You want to have this incredible ability to take yourself away from yourself, look at yourself from a side, and see, okay, what is really happening? What am I going through right now? Do I really want to invest and entertain the emotions, the thoughts, the fears, the low vibrational energy that's coming to me? Or do I want to understand where it's coming from, send it back wherever it's coming from, and connect to something positive, connect to the light? Because as we say, on the surface, this month can be a little bit of bitterness in it. However, if you are spiritual, if you remember these lessons, if you remember that it is all an illusion, that in reality you're always connected to the Creator, you're always connected to the light, you're always in sync with the universe. There's absolutely no such thing of being in the wrong time, in the wrong place, feeling something wrong, or ever being something wrong with you. If you remember that consciousness, then you're going to be able to ride the wave of this month in the most beautiful, joyful, glorious way you possibly can. So this idea of Mar, the bitterness, and it's a beautiful idea also from Ravash. Like he says, he has a quote: the more bitter a fruit is at the beginning of its process, the sweeter it's going to be in the outcome. Now, what does it mean practically for us? When I'm faced with a situation that is not pleasant to me, that doesn't taste sweet to me, it immediately should awaken within me the consciousness that there's something really sweet coming afterwards. There's something very positive coming to me after, in a very short time. But it requires my process of leaving it alone, not dealing with it necessarily right away, giving it some space, allowing it to flourish on its own, and then reconnecting to it. That's how the vegetable kingdom works, right? That's when you plant a seed, you have to let it go. You have to release it, you have to let it go, and you have to let the seed and nature do its work until it grows into a beautiful tree or whatever it is that you planted. So this month, whenever we are going to experience any form of quote unquote darkness, whatever we label as darkness, whether it be depression, feeling not at the top of ourselves, not feeling loved, feeling empty, feeling not unappreciative, not loved, etc., we don't want to connect to that. We want to immediately be resilient, connect to the idea that it must be good in the long term, and detach from it. Not to allow the emotions that we are feeling and experiencing in the next month be the determining factor of how I feel, or what I am. Those are two very different things. What I'm feeling, my emotional state, and who I am really is two different things. Completely two different things. Emotions is one thing. What I am is very different. And Scorpio by nature, as a sign, is very intuitive. It's very emotional, very, very, I don't want to say dramatic, but very, very extreme also. From going from the coldness of the water and to the hotness of the fire. That's the extremes. There's no gray areas for Scorpio. It's very black and white. For the people that are born in this month, extreme is their middle name. Things are extreme. They live to the extreme. If they feel something, they feel it to the extreme. It's the only animal in the animal kingdom that has been seen to do something of very self-destructive behavior. Scorpio is the only animal that if you do place it in a situation where it doesn't see an exit, where it's surrounded by, for example, a fire or any situation that it doesn't see an exit, it can strike itself and commit a suicide. And this self-destructive behavior is obviously something we completely want to avoid. And we want to understand that we might have the tendencies of this extreme nature this month, where we're going to feel things so strong, so powerful, that we're going to believe that this is true. You're going to believe that this situation, this feeling, this emotion, this whatever this person is making me go through is the reality, is the truth. However, that's not it. What you're feeling, what you're seeing is not always what's true and what's right. We're actually not even seeing, scientists say we actually see 0.0035% of our reality. So 99.9% of the reality we don't see, but we do feel it. So this month, it's very interesting that Scorpio is very intuitive. Intuition is usually connected to our emotions. And emotions in this month can be very extreme, can be raging from far right to the far left. Central column is not present this month. It's just doesn't exist necessarily for this month. For the people that are born in this sign, central column meaning balance, meaning restriction, meaning detachment, meaning I can have an emotion, but I can choose what I do with it.
Michael, this is so amazing. I just had to ask, because intuition is the thing for Scorpios, right? It's like a gift. So all of those like black and whiteness and going deep and being real, like all of those things, like being able to see right through is a gift of Scorpio. So those are the gifts. So how do we connect to the gifts instead of the darkness? How do we request the universe and connect ourselves to being guided by our intuition, not the insecurities and fears at the same time, right? So how do we make these good decisions? Like, how do we practice discernment? I know it's like a few fold
Yeah.
question, but it's all about, I feel, connecting to that one space inside of us,
Right.
and to certain consciousness that will allow us to use the intuition instead of being guided by the fears and insecurities of the Scorpio.
Yeah. It's a great question. How are we able to separate the extreme emotions and connect to the amazing intuition of the Scorpio? So to tell you exactly, there is no exact way. There's no easy recipe, right? What we want to always be connected to is the big picture. To understand that we want to be connected to the big picture of things. And what does it mean to be connected to the big picture of things? It means that I understand that in the big picture, everything is going to be great. Everything is going to be amazing. No matter what I'm going through right now, things eventually will be really good. We want to look into life in a more playful way, in a more exciting, in a more simple, in a more childish way. When you wake up in the morning and you ask yourself, who am I today? Because you're a different person every day. This is from a book I read, but it's an amazing question to ask yourself. Ask yourself every day when you wake up, who am I today? What kind of fun and adventure and positive adventures I can have today? So I think it would be very proactive for all of us to ask, who am I going to be this month? First of all, that makes you understand that you choose who you are. It's not dictated by something from outside. It is completely your choice, your decision, my consciousness that determines what kind of consciousness I have and I'm in, and what kind of an experience I'm going to have. Am I going to have an extreme dark experience where I'm plagued by negative emotions, feeling energies of other people? Or am I going to have this incredible fun month? Am I going to have this fun experience? Am I going to have a playful time? Scorpios, one of their actually organ that's connected to the sign is the reproductive organs. And they actually tend to lose restriction and ability to be proactive in the way that they use their energy of procreation, sexual energy, and recreation. And one of the most important things, this is a whole big subject, but intimacy, energy of procreation and sex, it's very playful energy. You want to be playful. You don't want to be stuck with the energy of heaviness, of believing in the emotion and trying to find a way to escape it. Because really what Scorpios tend to do, all water signs obviously, but especially Scorpios, they tend to run to addictive behavior in order to escape the emotions. They tend to run to substances, relationships, behavior, whatever it might be, people that will kind of make the pain go away. However, there is no way to make that pain go away besides you working through that experience, besides me owning it and saying it came to me for a reason, because I can handle it. And I want to remove whatever doesn't belong to me. Just say it. Send it back. Send it back to where it came from. Send it back to the sender. And I want to, if it is mine, I want to understand where it's coming from. I know that I have the universe on my side, always. The universe always has my back to help me go through this experience and to have the best possible, incredible experience of life that I could possibly have. So what kind of tools can we use this month to help us be protected by the tsunami energy of the month? It's the month it's also connected to the planet Mars, and Mars is a war planet. So that's why Scorpios, their low vibration is very connected to fighting, to revenge, to resentment, and to, if you cross them, this is one of the signs. The three ultimate revengers of the zodiac are Scorpio, Cancer, and Leo. Those signs are, if you cross them in the wrong way, they maybe forgive, but they don't forget. They will keep it, and they will, in the back, if you say something wrong to them, if you make them go through an experience that they don't like, that they don't agree with, they start to control the situation, and they start to do whatever it is possible to make sure that judgment and justice is served to you, and they will serve it to you. They will find a way to serve it back to you. Those three signs, they're all fire and water signs. So what's the issue with that? First of all, it's a total false belief, total false understanding, total false perception of reality. We always want to be connected to the truth, because when you're connected to the truth, that's when you're connected to reality. That's when you're connected to what's really happening. When I think that I need to make sure that the person gets what they deserve, I'm in the wrong mindset. Then I'm connecting to the judgment side of the universe. And I'm saying, you know what? They deserve judgment, so then everyone deserves judgment. I deserve judgment to bring judgment onto me and bring judgment onto them. That's not what you want to be in, right? That's not the mindset you want to be in. You want to be in the mindset of total rachamim, which means sharing, sweetness. There's three kinds of Scorpios, they say, meaning the people, the signs. There is a snake, the Scorpio, and an eagle. Snake is the lowest one. It's basically, just literally revenge, working for the dark side, working for our opponent, thinking of how to revenge, how to pay back, jealous, controlling, total delusional, very addicted to negativity and darkness. Not a good one. Scorpio is the one that starts to experience some sort of peaks of light, where it's like it starts to understand, okay, maybe it's not all that bad. Now, the eagle is who we want to be. The eagle is the animal that is able to fly above situations, observe them from a long distance, and understand that, yes, I can experience it, but I want to see it from the bigger picture. It's also one of the animals it's considered one of the closest animals of the Creator. It's also connected to the Archangel Uriel and Nuriel. Those are the archangels that also connect to this month. They're the angels of restriction, of central column, and of balance. So just the fact that we're studying this, that we're talking about, this is already giving us a big boost. Because this is ultimate vaccine, the ultimate consciousness, the ultimate way to prevent yourself from being in a negative mindset is understand that something like that could experience. And that's totally normal. It's totally normal to experience a negative day, a dark experience, something where we are not the most excited and elated about. It's totally normal. However, I know that every time I go through that experience, I can always morph into the eagle state of mind, connect to that big picture, observe and see what is the message for me here. How can I grow from this experience? What's the growing part of this month? And this is also the other part of the sign of Scorpio. They're very strong. It's a very strong sign. It's very strong people. They have an amazing desire, a very big desire for life, for understanding, for depth, for connection to the Creator. And that's the ultimate gift that probably we should focus on this month, is the desire of a Scorpio, when it's directed to be connected to the truth, to the creator, to the ultimate source, to the universe. When I switch it, when I connect to that desire, things will be much better for me.
And can I interrupt you for a
Sure.
second? So when we let's say, if the emotions came, right? Like there could be jealousy, there could be like desire to control, whatever, right? The emotion that is kind of supported by the being in the Scorpio energy comes, we can transform in a very practical way that into be more like an eagle, where we can see a big picture, and when we can ask the question, okay, so it's here. The emotion, in other words, we cannot stop our emotions, right? Like they come, we experience them. But so what I'm trying to say is, when can we connect more to our intuition? So in other words, like the emotion comes, let's say it's a jealousy, and people could create a whole range of stories based on that emotion. So how do we convert that into, is that an intuition or is that my fear? How can I follow my intuition? How can I be more like an eagle in this situation? How can I be less of, like, not as a snake who wants to destroy, but be like an eagle who sees the big picture and is able to connect to the intuition and is able to create from that situation? Because ultimately, right, it's a very creative, like that energy we can convert into energy of creation.
Yeah.
We can create from that energy.
Yes. Yeah.
So how do we
connect to the intuition? So
in a very
the moment you will
how do we connect to
disconnect,
intuition?
the moment I will disconnect myself from the emotions, from the emotional state, from any extreme emotion of way too much extreme happiness or way too much extreme negative emotions, the moment I disconnect from them, that's when I'm immediately able to connect to my true intuition right away. Because what's amazing is that the universe doesn't necessarily wait for us to, to receive the messages. It's basically always sending us the messages, always. And the moment I'm able to put myself in that mindset of connect to what's really happening, to disconnect, from detach. One of the key words for this month is detachment. Is your ability to detach from the fear, the depression, the sadness, the revenge, the jealousy, whatever it is, to detach myself from that, from ownership. You know, Scorpio is a very controlling or owning sign. It loves to control, manipulate, and own the situation. The moment I understand that the more detachment I practice in this coming month, the more simple letting go that I practice, very simply letting go, detach, I immediately will feel what's right in the situation. That's the beauty of it. That's the gift of this month, is that the moment I'm able to proactively disconnect from the negativity or extreme hyper happiness and not positivity, but extreme happiness, unbased, I'm immediately brought to the central column and I'm connecting to my intuition right away, right at that moment. Because that's the gift of this month. Your intuition is kind of like 100 times stronger, 100 times more amplified. But what's going to prevent you from understanding and hearing your intuition is the array of emotions that might bombard you. Now, another very simple trick: whenever you feel something, whenever you experience something, physical pain, physical, emotional pain, etc., you can always say, send it back to sender. We are very psychic beings, so we pick up a lot of energy from around us. That's why Kabbalists practice a lot of tools to build a protective shield against all that against all that energy. And one of the ways that if it does come to you, you can say, send it back to sender. I don't need it. I don't want to keep it. Emotions, feelings, thoughts, experience, physical pain, send it back to sender. I don't need it. Send it back to where it came from. But to answer your question, the moment I am able to detach myself from the emotions, the gift of this month is I will immediately understand what is the intuitive message for me. So that's the gift of intuition this month.
I
And it's
love.
also very beautiful because we have letters. Kabbalists explain that there's letters from the special text, from the special alphabet that Kabbalists use to understand and decode the universe. And the letters of this month, and just hearing them connects you to that energy, is Dalet and Nun. So, not to go into all the explanations, but Nun is the letter that created the sign of Scorpio. It's the only letter that says that it can fall in the alphabet, which is very interesting. And that's what often happens to us or to Scorpios, in general in life. They fall. They feel like they fall and they can't get up. They so believe in the fall that they're like, this is the truth. This is what it really is. And we want to understand that it's not true. It's not true. Falling is a natural process of growth. The only way you grow is by falling. So every time you fall, you should get excited. Don't be sad, like what the reactive side of Scorpio is going to tell you to do. Oh, I fell. What am I going to do? This is so bad. No, immediately, resilience. Get back up and say, wow, how can I grow from this? How did this serve me? Who am I today? How can I have an amazing and incredible experience today? How can I have a fun adventure today? So that's, and also what's beautiful is it says that the same letter created the sense of smell. So the sense of smell, or our ability to really know what's good and bad for me, was created with the same energy. So that means that this month, this intuition, this ability to discern what's really good for me and what's not good for me, starting from my thoughts, beliefs, programs that I have, emotions, relationships, activities, everything in your life is going to be very clear to you. Is this serving my bigger purpose? Is this really bringing me to something that I want to bring myself to, or is it holding me back? Because you have a destination, you have an amazing goal that every single one of us is meant to achieve. Every single one of us is meant to achieve an incredible destiny. We're like someone says, sleeping giants. We're so much bigger than we think we are. And it's not like you can make wrong decisions. You can make decisions that will just detour you from the road that you should be on or slow you down. But the fact that you're going to that place is not even a question. Everyone is going to get there. Everyone is going to get and be in this incredible space of achieving your ultimate purpose and your higher self and, all that good stuff. But the things that we can do is reactive behavior that's going to either slow us down or maybe detour us a little bit. But the beautiful thing is that this month you're able to really, really, really discern and really understand, is this good for me or no? And have the courage. Another very powerful attribute of a month and the sign of Scorpio is they're very courageous people. Very courageous, very strong, very courageous. So after you understand what's really good, after you have the wisdom of understanding the good from the bad, or what serves me and what doesn't serve me, the next step is to be courageous enough to say, you know what? I'm choosing what's good for me. I'm choosing me. I'm not choosing all that false belief. I know that the Creator has put this for me in order to help me grow, to help me choose the right way, etc. And I'm choosing it. I'm choosing the right decision.
Wow, we can't
Yeah.
this is like, I feel like this is a recipe for the life. It's not just for the
Totally.
month, but the recipe, like how to live our life every day.
Yeah.
Whether we are infected by Scorpio energy or not.
Yes. And I just wanted to share just
Michael,
one thing, is the whole experience of bitterness. The way we started is, it's very interesting that it's Mar Cheshvan, right? Bitter month. The clearer, the more I understand, the earlier in the day, the more in the day I connect to the idea that my consciousness and me is the creator of my reality. And if I'm experiencing something that's bitter, I can actually change it right away. And it's me who changes it. Me, I'm the only one. Don't be looking for outside sources to change that. I'm the one that changes it. The more frequent and the earlier in the day you're going to remember this, the more easier and sweeter this month is going to be. Because ultimately, this month is supposed to be sweet like honey for every single one of us. So when I'm not experiencing my life sweet like honey, it's like, wow, okay, that means I can do something about it. That means I can do something about it. Don't be a victim of any situation.
This is great. This is so powerful. I'm going to replay this video for myself because there's so many things we've said, Michael, you've shared with us today that are something that, like, every time you hear it, you hear something new.
Totally.
You hear a different angle of it.
Yeah.
And creating not only this month, but the sweet life, the life that is like that we learn not from the darkness but from the light, not from the negative but from the positive. And I just wanted us to address one more thing.
Yeah.
Because sexual energy is very connected to the creativity. And there's so many people who are creative, people who are listening to us, whether the creativity is, whether their art is like the word, the writers, the dancers, the musicians, the artists, the designers. Like, I know that sexual energy is very connected to the ability to create.
Yes.
So can you just say a few words about that? How can we amplify it? How can we give it more life, more like fuel in a way?
This month, you're not going to need to do it. It's going to be automatic. This month it's one of its attributes is this intensity. And, kind of like intensity, Scorpios look for sex and intimacy as a way to draw this intense energy and also to kind of diffuse themselves sometimes. So definitely to be in a very proactive way with the way we engage intimacy and sexual energy this month. Not to abuse the energy. It's present this month no matter what. Now, what's interesting is the energy of creation, energy of creating, energy of art, energy of production is also very connected to sexual energy. And the way we can, that's why some incredible artists like Picasso was a Scorpio, right? He was an amazing creator and artist. So one of the ways that we can balance all this energy is to be in the space of creation. So if you are an artist, if you are someone who naturally creates, this month, use this ability that you have, use this gift that you have in order to funnel and balance all the energy that you have to express it something outside. Right, because a person that experiences creation, either whether it be art in whatever form, right, music, sculpture, painting, writing, whatever it might be, you feel an incredible connection of energy. You feel a release of energy, right? So that's a very proactive way to connect to that energy, not to abuse it, but to connect to it in a proactive way, and to make sure that our sexual energy doesn't go like an intense water and starts to take us over, but we're able to also understand that we are not necessarily just sexual beings. We're creative beings. We're beings of creation. We're beings of sex is creative process ultimately, right? It's one way of how, the only way that human beings are made, right? That we create more life in this world. So it's a process of creation. So when I'm feeling that energy, one way to balance it is to be in a state of creation. And if you don't have necessarily, a hobby, if you are not an artist, or if you don't have a hobby where you create, maybe it's a great month to do that. To either connect to music, writing, painting, sculpture, doing a way that I am creating. Because this was also going to put you in that mindset of I am the creator. I am creating something. I am making something totally new, like the creator did with this universe and you and me. So that's also going to put me in this mindset of I'm the creator. I'm the creative process. And intimacy, it's very important. Intimacy is the one of the there's many different sides and important things about it, but one of them is when we are more focused on the partner and not just on ourselves. That's ultimately a very beautiful process and an experience that will bring much more pleasantness to all of us, is when the process of intimacy happens. It's not just I'm focused on myself, but I'm focused on the other person as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Because also, I just want to say, like, the sexual energy is it's like the strongest energy there is, right? Because
Totally.
it's the energy of creation. So depending on how we use it in our lives, we can create so much with it, because it's life itself.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
just keep that in mind. It's so exciting and it's so beautiful that we
Yeah.
can take that energy and we can shape it. We can build with it. We can create with it. We can give it shape. But it all comes from where we're coming from. What's the
Yeah.
consciousness behind it? And the result of our creation is going to be just that. People will experience your consciousness through your creation.
Yeah.
It's so
Exactly.
beautiful.
Exactly. It's actually, I also wanted to add, it actually says that the experience of intimacy and sex for human beings, it's 1/60th of Garden of Eden. So it's one of the closest ways. But we know that anytime we experience light, anytime we experience fulfillment, we always want to add the attribute of sharing in it. So that's why that's essential for it to stay. So we don't just have a big outburst of energy and then it disappears, and then a sense of darkness, in order for it to have continuity.
Yes. And Michael, so when we are taking it and we're creating something with it and then we're giving it to people, it could be many different things, depends. It could be a dance, a performance,
Totally.
an art. So this is ultimately sharing with people, right? Like you're taking
Yes.
something that you create and then you're sharing it, like you're
Yeah.
giving it away.
Totally. You give something and this can inspire people, right? Why we love art, because it gives us a break from reality, right? It gives us, or a different perspective on reality. So a very, very powerful tool.
And I just want to connect another dots. So we're talking about this month being a month where we ultimately need to detach and let
Yes.
go, right? Not to control.
Practice detachment.
Practice detachment. So when you're creating something, an art or anything, it could be a book, it could be whatever form of creation, could be a lesson, and then you are bringing it to people, you ultimately giving it away, you detaching yourself. It has a
True.
life of its own. It's no longer yours. It doesn't belong to you. That's another point that I wanted to bring. Whatever you're creating, it doesn't belong to you.
Yeah. And
So
you know, just to add, Julia, very quickly, all artists, they always say that they channel art, right?
yes,
They channel
totally.
energy. So the more you detach from yourself, the higher your ability to channel whatever it is that you're channeling will be.
Yes. And in life, in everyday life, the same thing. The more we detach, the more we're becoming that space that could come through us. So there's more.
Exactly. Exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
This
Awesome.
is huge, amazing. Thank you. Do
For
you
sure.
have time for just like a short download?
Definitely. Yes. Let's do a little meditation. We'll focus on connecting to sweetness, connecting to the sweetness of this life, and also to amplify our attribute of detachment, which is an attribute, it's a virtue, it's an ability of every human being to practice. And everyone needs it. Doesn't matter what sign you are, we are all becoming a little bit more Scorpio. Everything we spoke about will be part of us this whole upcoming month. So very simple meditation. You can either follow along or just listen to what we are going to say. And we want to center our consciousness in our heart. And then we want to send our consciousness to the middle of the earth, where there's so much energy, all the lava, all the energy that's in the middle of our earth, that just on so much heat and vibration exists there. And we want to pull this energy and feel it coming for our entire body. forming a beautiful ball of light above our head. And we want to imagine and pretend we are in this ball of light. I want to observe our reality, our world through this ball of light and see how perfect everything is. We want to allow this ball of light to elevate and go above where we are, above our body, above the building we're in, and travel faster than the speed of light through the entire universe, to the edge of the universe, and go through layers of lights, progressively becoming brighter. And we end up and we see ourselves in our ball of light in a very bright layer of light. We keep going higher and we go to a golden layer of light. And we keep going higher and we go into a jello-like substance. And we keep ascending and we see an opening in the distance where beautiful pearl-like iridescent light is coming from. We want to approach this opening, go through this opening and enter the plane and the place of the Creator, a tingling sensation, iridescent pearl-like light. Once we enter it, we see beautiful sparkles of pink and blue at the beginning. And the higher we go up, the more iridescent it becomes. I want to observe and see how our ball of light melts and becomes one with this energy. And here we're able to be in a much more deeper state of meditation, of connection to ourselves. And everything that we spoke, we want to receive it, download it to our subconscious, to understand, to always know on our deepest core level that the life and the world is meant to be sweet for us, meant to be sweet like honey. So if you want that download, say yes. We want to amplify our ability to create, our desire to create, our creative nature, our creative side. To understand that I'm the co-creator of my life. And I'm able to create miraculous, incredible things in this world. If you want to tap into your creative nature, creative side, understand that I am the co-creator of my life. That I am the being, that my consciousness is what determines and creates my reality. And that I always have the Creator's back in whatever it is that I'm doing. Say yes. And also I want to know, if you want to know what it means and what it feels like to live your life without self-sabotage, without sacrificing yourself, without belittling yourself, settling for less, staying the way you are just because it's comfortable, and without believing in the Creator, say yes. And the last one that I said, what it means is that we want to live our life. Scorpios, they tend to believe that there is no Creator, that there is no light. So we want to live without this belief. We want to fully know that there is a Creator, that there is light, that there is a supportive, all-encompassing, all-loving, unconditionally energy of the Creator that supports us, that loves us, that is always with us, that is always guiding us, that is always supporting us. If you want that instilled again on every level of your existence, say yes. And we want to amplify our attribute, our virtue of detachment, our virtue of discernment, our virtue of strength, through the Creator's unconditional love. So if you want that, all those attributes that are already in you, amplified in you 1,000 times through the Creator's light, say yes. And as always, we want to use our collective energy, collective force right now to create and send off the energy of unconditional love, peace, tranquility, acceptance, tolerance, kindness, compassion, wisdom, and courage to the entire world. So if you want to participate in that, also say yes. And before we open our eyes, we just want to rinse ourselves in light, fill ourselves up with it, with this energy of creation again. And open your eyes.
Thank you, Michael. That was an amazing meditation. And you know what? There people are making comments and asking questions, and some of the comments thanking for the great,
Awesome.
great episode from our Sunday series. And also, Sarah Talmy is asking a question about reference to meditation. Is there any reference, like why do we go all the way down to the center of the earth to draw the energy? And then also she's asking about that gold jello like a layer of energy, if there's any reference in Kabbalah of it. I didn't think this meditation is about Kabbalah at all, but maybe you have a good light.
It definitely is, because Kabbalah explains how the universe operates. So without going into the details, but it's basically, in Kabbalistic terms, it's different worlds that we go up through to reach the endless light. And the reason why we go to the middle of the earth is because it's the closest place where there's so much energy of the Creator. Because the middle of the earth, we know, is full of the creative energy of lava, of energy. The temperature is very high in the middle of the earth. And it's also one of our Kabbalistic works or jobs in this world, to elevate light that is existing in the earth. It's to elevate it, to elevate those sparks of light and to connect it back to the Creator.
That's amazing. I think a lot of people would love to hear that. And thank you, Sarah, for asking that question.
For sure.
Those are really great. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael, for being our, again, a teacher, a friend, and a speaker. And we always looking forward to this forecast. And I just want to say to you guys, so whoever is replaying it, keep asking us questions. We will address them. If you're watching it on YouTube, you can subscribe to our channel so that you get alerts. Give us thumbs up if you liked it. Leave us comments. We love to communicate. We read everything and we reply back to you because there's a lot of great information comes through, just like Sarah is asking questions. I wanted to know answers to those questions. I just didn't have those questions. So do share that way as well.
Awesome.
Mickey, anything on your end, or we done? We good?
Yeah, I think that's good.
Awesome.
Thank you, Michael.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Miki. Thank you, Julia. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Chodesh Tov. Have an amazing month ahead.
Let's have an amazing week, and we'll see you next Monday.
Okay.
Yes.
Our next broadcast is not on Sunday, but on Monday. So we will leave you a note, but next Monday at 12. Bye-bye, everybody.
Awesome. Bye, everyone.